Marriage is slowly dying. Here's why. A video by my boy Jen. I started my streaming career with him when I reacted to his videos. Now, give me just a second before I check if it's good, if you can listen me well on YouTube.
Was there anything that you wish that you would have done differently? I wish.
Second before I check if it's good, if you can listen me well on YouTube.
Was there anything that you wish that you would have done differently?
Holy damn, Restream is actually way better than I thought it was. I don't know why I never used it before. But in any case, we are watching Marriage. Marriage is slowly dying. Here's why. Now I'm gonna restart the video for the recording that I'm gonna do of this video. Marriage is slowly dying. Here's why. A video by my boy Jen. Really, we started our streaming career with him, and today we're going to be watching him interviewing people about marriage. Now, I have strict opinions about it. I actually love the idea of marriage. But let's check what he has to say about it over here.
Was there anything that you wish that you would have done differently?
I wish I would have married a girl that was like 8 years younger.
What would you guys say is like the secret to a long and happy marriage?
A short memory. I think marriage and love don't have that much.
Although, wait a second, I'm going to actually do something, which I don't think I did kind of before. I'm going to just make myself a little bit bigger. Can I do it? Nah, I don't think I can. Well, you're gonna... Oh no, actually I think I can. Wait a second. Whee! Playing with Restream. Woohoo! Okay, yeah, that's good, and that's good. Ah, screw it. Nope, don't mirror camera actually. Woo! Now I have my original haircut. Holy damn, I figured out how I can have my original haircut. Holy damn. I have finally figured it out. Guys, this is such a big day for me. I'm gonna love you. Oh no. I'm gonna love using Restream. I just need to figure it out a bit. And then we're so good. We're so good if we figure this out. But let's watch the reaction.
Much to do with each other.
Today I'm out here and the question that I'm asking is, what is your biggest dating or relationship regrets?
Well, I just have no regrets whatsoever. My dating life was absolutely fabulous.
I mean, you do look like a happy couple. Why wouldn't it be bad?
But then he happened to be there, and that was it.
That I didn't propose to my wife sooner than I did.
Wow, great answer.
That's like the best. That's literally a double answer. Anyone would answer this would definitely succeed.
That I didn't wake up sooner to the marriage.
A love I left in New Orleans. She was the love of my life. We hadn't gotten to know each other. I don't have any idea how much she regretted the breakup. I know I have.
How old are you and at what age did you guys get married?
32 years.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm 57 and we got married at 24.
See, that's like
Oh, nice. I love that when people get married at 24. It's a very great thing when you decide that, yeah, screw it, we're getting married. We are getting married. Ah, I love it. Yeah, you might be asking, what am I doing right now? I'm telling you what I'm doing. I'm trying to make myself look bigger. No, I don't want to do this. Ah! I really hope that the sound is at least well, because if it isn't well... Oh, okay, now we can actually publish the comments. Yeah, I think we're good with the comments as well. And then I shall see. I don't know. We're not going to put the comments right now yet.
very rare, I feel like my age too, right? Like I'm 26, I have a girlfriend, but I don't know anyone like my age or any of my friends who have been married yet.
It took me 27 years to fall madly in love with this woman.
So along with these successful couples, I also wanted to ask someone with a unique expertise on marriage, especially for when things didn't work out.
James Sexton.
Here's James Sexton.
I'm a divorce lawyer in New York City. I've been practicing divorce law for about 22 years.
Bruv, I mean, divorce lawyer in New York, that is big money. You know, they often say that divorce lawyers don't make big money unless it's two places, probably, I heard. I heard that LA divorce lawyers are super successful, and there are also London divorce lawyers. So let's listen to his story.
I'm the author of 2 books. If you're in my office, it's already too late. A Divorce Lawyer's Guide to Staying Together, and the other is called How to Stay in Love, Practical Wisdom from an Unlikely Source.
You mentioned that you believe in love, but you don't believe in marriage. Do you think your experience as a divorce lawyer and, seeing probably the most extreme of cases, as well as your, personal experience with divorce yourself, do you think that has impacted your view on marriage?
I think my own marriage...
Bruh, that has to be the biggest how do I say this word correctly? Coincidence in human history that a divorce lawyer is also divorced. What are the chances, to be fair? What are the chances? Wait, I'm playing with my screen right now, so no worries.
Which ended in divorce, definitely did not make me not believe in marriage. I'm really glad I was married. I have 2 wonderful adult children.
Imagine if ChatGPT and Canva had a baby. That's at Creative AI. It's the only generative AI designed.
But, I don't think that was unsuccessful. I think sometimes things end, and that doesn't mean they weren't successful. I think that we have a definition of marriage.
That is a good thing. But if you get married, guys and women who are watching this, if you get married, please don't get divorced. It's not the right thing to do.
Marriage, that if it doesn't last forever.
Is there a point to getting married if it doesn't last forever? To be fair, I don't see a point, but I'm still young in my life. I'm still young in my life, so it's hard for me to eventually see. Now let's read here. If you don't think the relationship will last, then definitely do not get married. That is also true. Like, why would you then get married? Why? The whole reason, the whole idea of marriage is for 2 beloved people to stay together for the rest of their lives. Why would you then get married if it won't last forever?
It was a failure, and I think that's wildly inaccurate.
There's a difference between it being a failure and getting married if you don't see it lasting forever. The idea behind the failure is that nobody was planning a failure at the beginning, right? God, I need a drink.
Definition of a successful marriage. I know people that stayed together absolutely miserable. I get to see a really honest version of things because...
That's also a failed marriage.
Again, the 2 people you never lied to or never should lie to are your doctor and your lawyer, because our only job is to protect you, and we have total, confidentiality.
That's why their frame is so big. Like, the doctors and the lawyers, that everyone respects them so much because you can't lie to them. Like, there's no purpose into lying to them. Like, they're trying to save you. And definitely, like, lawyers, it's always a little bit more specific, but doctors, 100%, like, this is what they're getting paid for.
The majority of marriages end in divorce, not living happily ever after.
Before we continue, when 52% of marriages end in divorce, is the concept of till death do us apart a dead concept?
Nope, because people give up so early.
Because like anything these days, there's divide.
I don't think what we have...
You saw what Jen did? That's edit. Oh, here's Pearl. Pearl Davis has been branded as the female Andrew Tate. To be fair, she's gone too extremist. Like, honestly, there are ideas I'm going to support on her, but I think she got too extremist. Maybe we're gonna have a reaction on her once or twice soon.
Today is really marriage.
You shouldn't hold on to things that no longer serve you.
Why would I get married? There's no actual reason to get married.
So with people waiting...
I remember I did a reaction a couple months ago about a guy bragging. It was actually Pearl Davis's video, and there was this guy who only saw marriage as ending in a divorce, and he will have to split 50-50 with his wife. And I remember destroying him because I said that you don't get married in order to divorce. And the same here. We're getting back to the topic. Why would you get married if you think it's gonna end in a failure? There's no point in this. Forget about it.
Longer and not choosing to marry at all, I wanted to explore the current state of marriage and what the future holds for relationships. With our lack of trust in institutions and increasing isolation, are we too far gone? And also, what does this all mean in the context of my own relationship? I guess we gon' see. You mentioned that again, once you are in a divorce lawyer's office, the relationship is screwed and that marriage...
That is logically, why would you then go to it?
Isn't a rapid death, but a long and slow one. What can both men and women do so they never end up in your office?
I think we disconnect.
Before he says, I want to actually drop a theory of mine, because I'm not getting married probably in the closest time. Well, my theory contains of this. The marriage is like a very, very close friendship, you know? It's a very powerful friendship. It has some associations with it, right? So how do you become friends? At first, you are joined with something that you are both interested in, right? So you get together, you, I don't know, hang out with something that is interesting to you. You get like, with marriage and probably the relationship, love relationship, it's probably the next level. Like, you know, there's a bigger spark in it, but the general idea is the same, that eventually it's about not whether you want to keep up with the person when you're both interested in something, but whether do you want to keep up with the person when you're actually in some problems and failures, or when there's nothing interesting. Like, do you want to spend the time with this person no matter what conditions there are? And I think this is one of the key things. How do you actually measure a successful relationship? Now, there are some other probably topics. There are actually those that I can't express because my knowledge of the language, to be fair, isn't that powerful. Yet I'm trying my best. So please don't judge me that much.
Really slowly from our partner. I think the best thing people can do is to be mindful of slippage. It's a lot like getting super fat and then realizing, okay, I gotta lose a bunch of weight now. It's like hard to come back from that. You know, it takes a lot more effort. Except in this situation, there's multiple people, right? There's two people in the story instead of just one. So it's two people that have to be kind of disciplined and focused and on the same page. If you ask most people, like, oh, what do you like best about your girlfriend or your husband or your wife? Like, they're nice and they're smart and they're funny. But if you drill it down and say, like, tell me a couple of things that they did this week that you really liked, it's weird stuff. A lot of times it's not what they think it would be. And it's just as easy to devote your energy to those things as it is to devote it to the things that make each other miserable.
What would you guys say is like the secret to a long and happy marriage?
A short memory.
When you base your value system on the same thing, that's really helpful.
Well, actually, I think you just put up with everything.
If you lost everything, I'd still be with you. If you were really sick, I'd still be with you.
Yeah.
You know, that's real love. I think one of the
Remember what I said. Remember what I just said a couple minutes ago. I'm prepared for marriage. Let's go. At least I get. I shared the same opinion with a person who before said she was successfully married for 33 years. So it's a good thing to know.
hardest things for young people to understand is like a bad phase can actually be a whole year and a half.
So it seems like being able to be adaptable and grow with each other has been like a big secret to your guys' long marriage. Is that right?
I would say so.
What do you think is the biggest difference between a wife and someone who's a one-night stand? For both men and women.
A wife or husband.
Let's go for both people. For a guy, I think, again, the difference, let's think broadly. So it's not the sexual access, right? Because they both have it was in the one night stand. I think so I can probably say for a guy what is the difference. The difference is that he carries more than just his bare instincts. That it's something mentally, you know. The difference is how you look at the person, at the woman in general. Because I think for the girls it's a bit different if you compare even one night stand and a long relationship. I mean, I'm not a woman. A lot of women haven't talked to me about this, but you do have this difference even for one night stands, you know, the rule that a girl needs a reason, a guy needs a time and a place. And I think this actually works with women because they kind of have something that okay, yeah, I think I got missed on this. Let's rethink. So difference for man is that he is thinking about the woman more, so to say. He's not only being controlled by his instincts. For a woman, I'm not gonna say right now. Let's hear their opinions, and then I'll probably share another mine.
That means substance.
What do you think is the most important quality to look for in a partner?
You should go shopping with your date to see what what they buy and how much they spend. Because
Oh my god, that is actually genius place to take. I've been thinking. Nah, that is. I'm gonna take a note from him.
I think money is a very important part of the equation.
I imagine you guys are pretty different from 32 years ago. I feel like I'm changing every single year. In that sense, how has your guys...
I've changed for like... I know nobody cares about me yet for me to say something that big, but I've changed in the last month. Okay, not that globally. In global terms, 2 months. I can definitely say... Today is January 19th. On November 19th, I remember exactly what I was doing, and yeah, I was kind of a bit of another me. There's like so many things that happened that influenced me that I can't say that I'm a sane person.
Relationship evolved?
It's certainly less tempestuous than it was in the beginning. I mean, I would say it was real operatic for a while. See?
Some things...
Bro is gonna send him to that lawyer. I wish we could do an interview with Jen one day.
Never change. And so unlike older generations who typically got married around their...
This is characterized by early marriage, with women marrying at an average of 20 and a half and men at average... children produced in the 1950s.
20s. That's not the case today. Gen Z and millennials are open to marriage, but waiting around 10 years longer to get married at all. I mean, look at me. I'm 26, almost 27, and not married. Whereas my parents have my older sister at this age, and I'm here making YouTube videos.
Bro is just self-reflecting in this video. No, but there is a difference between not getting married because... Well, I don't know, because you're a loser and you couldn't find yourself someone, that's one reason. But there's a whole another reason when you can get married at 19 or at 20 and you get married at like 29, so to say. So there's like these couples, for example, that date, I don't know, for like 6-7 years. And you know they're gonna be together, at least they plan to be together for the rest of their lives, but they're just afraid to take the next step. This is the only way I see it. This is the only way I genuinely see it. It's a bit sad, but well, at least they do get married because we're heading to a big crisis that I see it that might be even worse than just getting married a bit later. But we might touch on this topic a bit later, so let's listen to Jen.
Whether it be student debt to higher living costs, it makes sense when looking at Gen Z dating lives, and its polarity as the loneliest and the horniest. 2 different studies found that just half of high school seniors were actively dating, and
half of high school seniors. I think that's 2018, so that was before COVID. Only 90 parents reported a year of no sex. Okay, I mean, sex is a bit of another topic that we might touch. So
1 in 4 young adults were remaining celibate for an entire year. In short, they ain't... Well, not exactly the case. Because on the other hand, we're also seeing more adultery and...
Wait, Gen Z doesn't want to...
Well, yeah, not exactly.
Did you spot I finally learned how to make 5 seconds? Because before I used to switch between the YouTube videos.
The case. Because on the other hand, we're also seeing more adultery.
To get married as younger generations redefine monogamy. Yes, that is such a big problem. That is a huge... Probably, I was planning to do a reaction or a video about monogamy, but I think it might be somewhere later. Not sure that it's a good time to talk about this right now.
And promiscuity, but in an ethical way. Approximately 20% of all Americans have experienced or attempted ethical polyamory at some point in their lives.
Why?
With that number skyrocketing over recent years.
Why?
And with Gen Z embracing diverse gender roles and individuals who identify as bisexual or pansexual having...
I mean, wait. A bisexual person doesn't mean absence of monogamy. Bisexual person is just someone who is attracted to both, but That doesn't mean that I'm going to embrace a bisexual person like sleeping with everybody. No. No, that is bad. That is the problem I have with bisexual people and pansexual and all the other people. It's not with whom they want to sleep. It's not the it's with how many people they want to sleep at the same time. That is my problem.
A higher likelihood of engaging in polyamorous relationships. Is this a passing trend or a lasting one? And so I was curious on what the old heads thought. Another thing that's kind of been like more popular in our generation has been polyamorous relationships. What are your thoughts on polyamory?
You know, I have a few friends in open relationships and I've met polyamorous people. They're always really...
Oh my god, I remember. I have Love Don't Oh yeah, that's actually a reaction, I think. No? Or is it the channel? Love Don't Judge. We watched this show. We watched definitely the reactions on this show. And they do have genuinely sweet stories. But some of them are just pure, not even crap. I mean, I'm not going to go into these people's personal lives. Let them do whatever they want with them. But I'm just saying that, guys, what are you doing?
eager to talk about it. For me, I'm just not emotional.
Like, look even at this. One wife and 7 girlfriends? What can 7 girlfriends do what one wife cannot do? I can tell you what it cannot do, but I don't want to talk about this topic right here and right now on YouTube. This is the first stream. You're not going to make me talk about sex immediately.
Emotionally wired that way.
I think that's a bad idea. I just think that's super confusing.
I'm too jealous and too emotionally chaotic, I guess, to take that approach.
So it's clear that compared to older generations, the dating scene has changed from expectations to realities. Because back then, without the illusion of unlimited choice, getting married...
Exactly. That I like how he phrased it, delusion of unlimited choice. Now I know I interrupted him, but I wanted to say it. Delusion of unlimited choice. People think they do have it, but in reality, like look at even Tinder, for example, like this app. I'm not saying it's a bad app. I'm not saying it's not helpful, but it creates the delusion that you can go out with way more women, or you're gonna find way more women. In reality, you're only expanding probably the circle of people you might potentially get to know. But this is, again, some potential scenario. And obviously the potential scenarios can always grow. But this is a delusion.
To their high school sweetheart after 6 months together wasn't that crazy. And so since I've been dating my girl...
I genuinely don't see the problem of people getting married before dating less than a year. Because if they're in love, they're in love! If they know they want to spend the rest of their time together, if they are in love, why not getting married? Explain me this shit. Oh, because my friends might judge. Oh, like you know, their excuses are so lame so often. Again, I am pro-love. People think I'm a gay, but actually pro-love. I think if you're really in love, get married as soon as possible. Do it. Wait, lost my screen.
Long distance for the last 10 months, and I haven't married her yet. I wanted to ask further about the differences between generations. Because as someone who's scared of marriage myself, I have doubts. Can our generation really be the ones to succeed where others have failed? Because as my own relationship has progressed, so too have thoughts like, is she really the right person I can spend the rest of my life with? But perhaps it's natural to have doubt and fear over one of the biggest decisions of our lives. So let's just say that if each person can only buy one engagement ring in their lifetime, I'm sure we'd be a lot more careful.
Like, before we go into this, it's the same with having children. No one will ever be ready to have 1 child, 2 children, or even more. Well, I'm gonna go full screen for this phrase. No one will ever be ready to do it. But you have to understand that there is no other choice. There's genuinely no other choice. Like, you have to do it or you don't do it. And the regret of not doing is usually bigger. I do agree with Jen on the last topic that he mentioned. If you do not do it, so to say, no, sorry, going back. If you do not, if you only have one choice, if you only have one rank, right, to put for the rest of your lives, only one, people would be more careful. But this is again why a lot of people are afraid to do it nowadays. I think is because they they still think that no, I'm going into wrong because let's think again about it. If there is a multiple choice, if you can get married, get divorced, why are there not a lot of marriages today for being younger? God, I'm starting to stop. Wait, how am I going to post this on YouTube? I look so bad in this reaction. God, just stop and think for a second, man. What did I just say?
Of dating back then compared to now.
Cool. I mean, because you have an opportunity to find all kinds of action quickly to dating sites.
Obviously, we didn't have Google and all the stuff you guys got today, or like my sons got today. It was more one-on-one, you have to talk to a person.
From what I've heard, especially from my children's friends, is that there's a lot of filters applied to it. And in fact,
exactly. So you instantly know who you're talking to, right? You don't need to ask her. You don't need to, make sure you don't creep her out. You already understand somehow. You can find. So it is a big advantage, to be fair. And I'm just again then I'm even more curious. Like if this is the reality, why are there not more marriages? Because let's face it, dating in general, dating is easier now, right? So why are not people getting married so much more?
in fact, in our case, had we applied filters, we would
Probably okay. I have another variation why. I have a theory why. Probably because of people getting afraid to go monogamous, right? For the rest of their lives because they see the delusional opportunities they might miss. This is my theory. I just made up because you saw me being confused a minute ago. Well, now I do have a theory.
would not have married, I would think. I'm not sure we would have met.
Yeah.
How did you learn about relationships and dating when you were growing up?
We had role models that we could look at and family around us that supported that.
So I feel like a lot of my generation these days, we struggle with dating and relationships in general. And the general kind of consensus is kind of a negative view on dating. Why do you think this is kind of a struggle point for our generation?
Well, I think it's primarily social media. I mean, for example, when I met Tanya, there's an immediate...
Tanya? Are you sure she's US? Can I hear her accent again?
Physical, emotional vibe that you get, which, you just don't get through electronics.
They're too casual about how fast they sleep together. Sex becomes...
Yes! Yes! Fast sex destroys relationships. Guys, I didn't want to talk about it today, but they forced me. One of the reasons, and one of the main reasons I see a lot of relationships failing today is because of how easy is it to get sexual access. And the problem is when you're especially young and dumb, you really listen only to your instincts. And your instincts wants to sleep with as much people as you really can. Well, for a guy, I can say, sort of say. But nowadays, women even freak me out even more. I mean, I've talked to some women who really think it's okay to sleep with a lot of guys, and they're like 17, 18. I'm thinking about this like, really? Why?
Such a big deal that they aren't willing to put the effort in to just get to know each other.
And with the rise of hookup culture, it's undeniably influencing how people date. And when art represents culture, it's no surprise that we're now seeing content on dating gurus, pickup artists, to OnlyFans influencers.
Wait.
Surprise that we're now seeing content on dating gurus.
Dating guru. How is Nico considered a dating guru?
Pickup artists.
Vince kissing hundreds of girls and teaching you how to. I don't want to. The problem is, I'm going to write down myself a new quote. I'm going to genuinely write down myself a new quote in my notes. I have like a code that I live to, which is gonna say, I don't want to kiss hundreds of girls. I want to kiss one girl 100 times. Imagine if people really stick to this rule. This is such a genius rule I just made up. I'm going to actually write it down before we continue. Yeah, and we're only doing one video today, guys, because it's too late. I've been setting restream for like half an hour, and now the half an hour I probably planned to watch this video. Now we've been long, so I don't want to kiss hundreds of women. I want to kiss one woman 100 times. Holy damn! I should quote this on Twitter. I'm gonna quote this on X later. This is such a genuinely nice quote.
To OnlyFans influencers. But interestingly, this surge is also giving rise to a counter trend.
Find yourself a wife who dreams of this, not this. And the problem, you know what the problem is? You know what the biggest problem I have? There's nothing wrong for a woman to dream of this. Absolutely nothing wrong. But the way that the way feminism today is putting this makes men like me, for instance, say no and simply pick this. Like, this is false dichotomy here. It's, believe me, these could be two in one. Genuinely, there are so many women that can combine this. But the problem is that those who supported this, they discredited this. So the other people, sort of say, they said, well, why are you discrediting the beauty of having children? You know, be a stay-at-home wife or mom. There's nothing wrong with both. The problem is when you always get too extreme and actually hating on the other. I am pro women working whatever they want. And I'm also pro women not working whatever they want. What I am against is pushing the narrative that one thing is bad and it should be disgraced. It shouldn't be empowered. It shouldn't be complimented. And the problem nowadays is that being a stay-at-home mom with children is discredited more than wishing of a big boss, I don't know how to call it, successful career path, so to say, for a woman. That is the problem I have.
A different type of content.
If you are not familiar with the term tradwife, it is a woman who chooses to live a more traditional life with ultra-traditional gender roles.
There's been a recent resurgence of traditional marriages as seen by people like this TikTok creator.
Like, think about it. People genuinely had to create TikTok accounts about traditional wives. You know, I'm going to explain you why this is weird. TikTok is a social media. Social media creators get popular by doing what? They get popular by by being exceptional. Like, the reason why you follow one person and not the other is because you like something specific about them. Now imagine that this exceptional thing is traditional marriage. This is now considered exceptional. And she has, how many followers does she have? Because we've been...
Resurgence of traditional marriages as seen by people like
132,000 people are following a TikToker who's talking about traditional marriages. That is exceptional nowadays. We ought to actually make a screenshot of her because, I don't know, I have a couple plans with people recently for this channel. This might be actually a good thing for me to remember her account.
Like this TikTok creator.
I don't want to be a corporate girly. I don't want to climb the ladder. I don't want to be a boss babe.
Tradwives are traditional housewives who believe their role is to be
homemakers.
And their content from cleaning to cooking has caused quite the controversy on social media, as some say tradwives push regressive beliefs on women's rights and are exclusionary to the queer and trans community.
That's the problem I have. So we're not saying that these weird like, how do we say it? Oh, Coolmaker, I don't remind me who you are, Coolmaker, because I don't remember who you are. I so apologize. The problem I do have, for instance, with these communities is that they don't think that their ideas, so to say, are discrediting traditional wives, but traditional wives are discrediting their ideas. You see the problem we have now. You see this problem, right? I really hope you do. The problem is not with people doing what they want. The problem is with some people being against something else. And I have to remember how to formulate it right. When I'm doing videos, I'm going to be probably editing more, so I'm going to be more clear. The problem I have is not with people doing what they prefer. The problem is with one side that is doing what is being preferred getting discredited by the other. And if before we had discreditation, so to say, I don't know, limitations towards women who, for example, couldn't have access to studies, couldn't have access to some career jobs, they couldn't really, I don't know, become president, so to say, they couldn't succeed in politics, so they couldn't succeed in higher career paths. Now we have women who want to be career women discrediting traditional wives. That is the problem. You see, the sides have flipped.
Wives push regressive beliefs on women's rights and are exclusionary to the queer and trans community. And some also argue that maintaining a traditional marriage in this day and age is an unrealistic standard, especially as grade divorces increased over the years. But
challenge accepted.
Is this true? Since 1990, as attitudes towards divorce has become more socially acceptable, divorces for those over 50 has nearly doubled. But with some studies showing that men in a grade divorce tend to experience more negative effects than women, wanted to ask the lawyer.
I'm curious on your thoughts on the post-divorce, right? Once that's all settled, who fares better? Women that are divorced or men that are divorced?
Dating men, for sure. Women are much more open to the presence of stepchildren or a boyfriend with children. They don't really look at the kids as baggage as much as they look at them as a part of this person who they are feeling romantically about. Conversely, women who have children, a lot of men, particularly high-value men who are successful themselves, children, they're viewed as having baggage.
So with statistics showing that 64% of men remarry compared to 52% of women, seems like statistics showing that 64% of men remarry.
Total of 64.
Marry compared to 52% of women.
That's actually a lot. Like, if you think about, more than half of the people after getting divorced get married again. So maybe there is some hope in it.
Seems like men do fare better when it comes to dating post-divorce. But in general, it's evident that individuals of both genders.
I think the reason for it is human evolution, so to say. So think about it. And I'm not trying to be sexist on this channel, obviously. But let's so to say traditionally, evolutionary, women have been, men have been attracted by women's beauty, whereas women have been attracted by man's status. That is how it has been traditionally. That is still how a lot of the things operate, although some may discredit it. And the thing is that whenever a woman gets older, well, she kind of loses this beauty a bit, right? Whenever a man gets older, he usually gains up more status. So that's why, for instance, for like a divorced man, it is easier to find a new wife. He keeps developing his status. For women, it's hard to keep her beauty up. Although you still see that half of the women get remarried. I actually believe it's a positive stat. I thought that there's going to be less of them.
Experience distinct challenges post-divorce. Because despite dual income households becoming standard, women are more likely to be financially dependent on their husbands. But on the other hand, even if men are the primary breadwinners, women are more likely to initiate the divorce and also more likely to receive empathy and support.
Again, which is super weird if you think that women get less remarried.
during it, compared to men who have a higher likelihood of substance abuse and depression. And in some cases, reputation loss can even occur, as seen in the initial Amber Heard Johnny Depp case in 2016, where Depp lost many roles due to alleged emotional and physical abuse. And not only so, child custody also tends to favor women, but some argue for good reason. Most women take on the primary responsibility for child rearing, where fathers spend roughly 50 minutes less with their children than their mothers.
You see the problem? Don't you see? Like, the thing with all of this is, no matter how bad this situation could be, we're still coming back to traditional roles. Like, with all the equalities, with all the help, we still get back to traditional roles when talking about with whom to keep the child. Was the father, was the mother? Where do you think they get this conclusion that it's better for a child to be with the mom? From traditional values, from traditional ideas that the mother has been the caretaker of the children. That is the reason. Which if you're going to say that traditional marriage is wrong, then you also have to point out how this point of view is even more wrong.
In a scene in the months-long custody battle between Olivia Wilde and ex-husband Jason Sudeikis, Wilde secured full custody and now resides with her children with her current partner Harry Styles. So as a man, I'm not gonna lie, that scares me on marriage. Because even though my relationship has been so great and I love my girl, I also know that this is how...
If we blur her, we can still see her, Jen. No offense, like, genuinely. Like, if you're going to blur her, at least blur her more.
Many failed relationships began in the initial stage. And so I'm clearly not the only person in my generation that's feeling this way about marriage. And I'm also not the only one wondering what the future of relationships will look like.
You mentioned that the pendulum swings
That's
both
super interesting, guys.
ways. Now, anytime there's a correction, there's always going to be an overcorrection. And you mentioned that the next swing will be a return to more traditionalisms, and that marriages will actually surge. How do you think this will impact the future of marriage?
There's a lot of resurgence of traditional, old-fashioned courtship, not having premarital sex. I think people are feeling spiritually very lost right now. We tried to convince people that consumption would fill the void, and it didn't. People in that spiritual quest will tend to go back to the answers that religion gives. The massive increase in divorce that occurred from the 1970s and 80s on. Our culture's never been great at nuance. Like, I think the United States has a tendency to treat dandruff with decapitation. I think everybody's just been like, yeah, sleep with whoever you want, whenever you want, nothing means anything, there's no God, there's no anything, there's no...
Again, like, I am for this guy. I'm interrupting him because I wanted to add another... Oh my god, you've been watching me dancing this whole time. Oh my fucking god, you've been watching me dancing this whole time. I'm just curious. Oh my god, you know what I just realized? How long have you been watching me dancing? Screw it, I'm gonna upload it like this way. But you got my point. I really liked what this doctor says. The thing, or the lawyer says. The thing that I will add on to it is that is the problem we had. Nothing meant, nothing what you did meant, they said. But remember, whatever you do in your life, and I don't care if you're a young child and if you're an adult, it will always matter. Because when you're a young child, that is the reason why you don't get to vote, why you don't get to buy alcohol, because you don't get responsibility always for your actions. You don't know what you're doing. You're learning. You're growing up. But an adult, they should know what they're doing. They should understand that everything that they do in this life matters. I apologize for you seeing me dancing for 2 minutes. That looked a bit weird, but in any case, let's finish the 3 minutes.
Rules, there's not even genders, just go out and whatever feels good, do it. Doesn't matter, gain weight, lose weight, doesn't matter if you're fat, you're skinny, no one's allowed to talk about it. Everything's just great. And everyone's unhappy. And so we'll go the other way now. Rigidity.
And it seems like the pendulum is swinging. In 2022, there were 2.6 million weddings across the United States, which is the most we've ever seen since the 1980s.
maybe, but there's wait, follow a record number of cancellations, postponements, elopements, and lots of Zoom noob shows during the past 2 years. Let's check the stats after COVID, okay? Like, I don't know, maybe this is first of all, wait, what? Oh yeah, there will be more. Are you sure there were more? Because this, like, the article is from February 14th, 2022, right? And it's talking about 2022, and there will be more. Like, the reason I sent back because I saw the word Zoom and I got interested. Huh, were there like Zoom marriages or what? But now that I actually read it, I mean, Jen, I am sure that you wanted to make a good point, but are you sure this was the best article?
6 million weddings across the United States, which is the most we've ever seen since the 1980s. And it's even exceeded pre-pandemic norms by over 500,000. And with more Gen Z...
Yeah, because the pandemic delayed the weddings, so to say, of some people.
Getting married with less time dating, is this a sign that Gen Z is finding what's truly important, or is this all just a flex over Instagram? What do you think is the last thing that you'll remember when you die?
Probably my kids. I don't know what else you'd think about.
Not like the money or like the car?
No.
My husband, my children, and the people that I love.
I hope it's the birth of my children. Those are two of the happiest days of my life.
I have no idea.
The day when you met him, right?
Right, exactly.
All the times you had sex?
Yeah, well, that's true. You would actually think about that. Well, you always think about that, no matter who you're with.
Because even though money is undeniably important, whether it's to fund or scale this channel, or to afford tickets to continue furthering this relationship, what matters during our final moments isn't the money or the status, but the memories with others. You ready for tomorrow? I'm excited. Do you think you'll ever try your hand at marriage ever again?
I don't think marriage would be important to me. I'm in a long-term relationship that's very happy. My lack of endorsement of marriage does not have to do with a lack of endorsement of monogamy, of pair bonds, of love,
like
of
there is
romance.
a difference. Like, look at him. He's obviously older than 50, so to say. We're not gonna go and assault. We're gonna say at least 50. After 50, if you like, really, what is he going to gain from? Like, really, what is he going? When we talk about marriage, we're talking about people who are like in their late teens, 20s, beginning of their 30s, but not about a 50-year-old guy. Come on, especially a guy who has been married and already has a family. Those are like exceptional cases.
I think those are all amazing, wonderful things. But I think marriage and love don't have that much to do with each other. I think that that's what my professional life has taught me. Marriage is like the lottery, probably not going to win, but it's worth buying a ticket and taking the ride.
So whether you agree or disagree with the concept of marriage, in a life full of impermanence, perhaps it's the commitment through the good and the bad that ultimately gives us meaning and purpose. Because whether it's our big mission to change people's default mindset of one-sided thinking, to exploring both sides, to your desire of wanting to build a life with a single person, nothing significant in life was ever achieved without unwavering commitment. And it's only by experiencing the trials and tribulations through commitment that you can ever discern what you truly want to pursue in life. And that's exactly the mission of exploring the unfamiliar. Thanks to our partner Dairy Ring, and subscribe not only to this channel.
I mean, this is already advertisement, so I don't know. We're gonna probably, yeah, Discord. This was actually a lovely reaction. Especially, I love the ending. I always love his endings. He knows how to close. I hope one day we are going to get together and talk with him. Probably make a collab, discuss some social issues. But in the meantime, what can I tell you? Marriage is beautiful, guys. Believe me, I have not been in one, but I have never heard from people who have been in it to say that life would be better with not being in it, which I did hear from the opposite side. So don't take my word as a rule, but think with your head. This is always a great idea. Now, I don't know if I'm going to cut this live stream. I'm probably going to. I'm going to put it as unlisted and then probably upload the reaction normally. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed this reaction. I'm unfortunately only doing one today because it's already a bit too late. And as I told you, I've been setting the settings way more longer. I'm planning to start streaming now from Tuesday to on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So I'm planning to do multiple streams, and I'm planning to do multiple content. Guys, 2024 is going to be interesting for this channel and for me personally. I hope you will be a part of this journey, a part of this ride. Now I have to go get back to some other work before I go to bed. So see you in my other reactions in 2024.